Well, hey there everybody, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day or night, and welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Deluxe. Alright, let's do another freaking Transformer review, because I love some freaking Transformers that nobody will play or watch. But here today we got X-Transbots and we got the Ballistic. This is their Targetmaster Misfire. This is the Toon Deco. I do have the Toy Deco one as well. Try to do that one later on, but want to get this one out. But there you go. There's the box art. Looks really good. I like that. X-Transbots, Ballistic, there's a Misfire, same thing up there. If the opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Cool, like that. And there's the back. As always, great background like that. Drawing looks good. And you do have some stats. If you want to pause for the cause and try to read that, that's a little blurry. I'm sure they'll have a little card you can read. I'll say that, and then right here, say the same thing. Okay. All right. As always, hit me with some like, share, Spares, Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. Really appreciate that. That's in the description. And go to Show Z. That's where I got this guy. And at the top, hit Deluxe 32. Really helps out the channel. And if you want to become a member, hit the join button down there as well. So let's get right to it, and let's talk about some X-Transbots and their Misfire. Let's hope it's a good one. I'm really excited for the Targetmasters. All right, let's take a quick look with the stuff he comes with, which is not a whole lot. So he doesn't come with instructions. I forgot to show you the bottom of the box. So they have QR codes, so you have to scan these codes to get the instructions. So kind of weird. Kind of wish they did come with instructions. But you get this nice little card right here. Okay, and on the back, yeah, like I said, you can read that hopefully better. Just pause for the cause right there. And then you got some stats too. That's pretty cool. You get a faceplate, which is kind of like a sneering, yeah, so very nice. Got a snarl face or something like that. Nice painted, kind of a goldish tint to it a little bit. Very nice. And you get his Targetmaster, which is called, I had to look it up, Aimless. So here's his Targetmaster, and it's all made of die-cast. It's got a nice weight to it. Beautiful paint job. This nice metallic kind of a blue. Then you got some gray, I guess, down here. A little grayish white right there. You got the mustard yellow and the red eyes right there for the face. Looks good. Like I said, this is all die-cast. This right here, the legs, everything. He's heavy. So there you go. All right, so there is everything that he comes with. All right, let's go over Aimless real quickly because there's not much to him. Like I said, he does look good. Love the paint job, and he does have a lot of die cast in him and everything. Like I said, unfortunately, he does not come with instructions, so I'll try to transform my best. Got the, like I said, the orange paint. All right, so as far as articulation, the only thing you can do is look up or look up, everything, and that's just because of transformation. The arm all the way around and go out a little bit like there. You do got an elbow bend, no bicep swivel. But you do have like a little butterfly because of the ball peg right there. No waist swivel. You do have an ab crunch because of transformation, but you can use it and you can look up, so that's pretty cool. You can go out to Van Damme all day, every day. You can kick up and kick back. No thigh swivel. A lot of knee bend right there, and nothing for. I'm sorry. The feet do have a toe tilt down and everything. No rock or anything like that. All right, and for transformation, basically you just kind of use the ab crunch right here, and then you're going to flip out the barrels right there. Now you need to move the head back, and warning, if you put the head down in here, it's supposed to go all the way in this little gap right there, but it's really tight, and it took me forever to get that damn thing out. And just be careful. I mean, I try not to push it all the way down or inside of that, because you have to get a spudger or something to try to get that out, and it does take forever because it's in there pretty good. All right, so then you, which way does it go? This way. Okay, so you're gonna fold the legs in like that, and then you're gonna tab in. There's a slot right here on the forearm. You're gonna tab it in right there, and you're gonna tab it in right there. And there you go. There is the Targetmaster mode. All right, real quick, for him to hold the gun, which this makes no damn sense. I have no idea what they were doing. But, just like most Masterpiece figures, you do have like a slot in here. There's no tab. It has like a railing system or something like that, which I like. If it had like a little railing system in the back of the hand, it could slide in there. But it doesn't tab in anywhere. I mean, I tried, and everything. So basically what you gotta do is Just hold it on for tension, hold it on for dear life. And that's how he's going to hold the gun, which makes, oh God. God dang it, come on now. That was stupid, sorry about that. But yeah, he's heavy too, so, that's, why, X-Transbots being X-Transbots, man, come on now. But yeah, he's kind of heavy, so you got to get a good grip on there so he can kind of hold on to it, But there is another thing. If you do, fold in the hand, he did this, I guess he did this in the cartoon. There's a little tab right here. So this is probably the best way you can hold it, to be honest. And it slots in pretty good, and it'll hold it. Like I said, it's a little heavy. Like I said, it is die cast, and no ratchets, right there, like that. So, just be wary of that. But yeah, there you go. That's how you can hold his little Targetmaster aimless. But I don't. It makes no damn sense how that you can't really hold it, because he's a Targetmaster. He's got to hold his Targetmaster, right? I mean, come on now. All right, let's move on to a Misfire, a Ballistic in his bot mode. I have to say, he does look good. I really do like the design. Looks really nice. The paint, he's painted from head to toe. This nice pinkish red looks really good. Love the metallic visor. Looks really nice as well. Like I said, he does have die cast throughout. Got die cast right here in the elbows. The thighs are die cast. This little piece right here is die cast, but the rest of it is not. And everything, but like I said, he does have a good weight to him. So that's very nice. Everything. So here's the legs and feet. Like I said, you got this kind of a goldish tint right there to it. Looks really nice. And on the back, got the cockpit for the alt mode. And there's that right there. So these wings kind of get in the way sometimes. But like I said, it does have a nice head sculpt and everything. It looks really good. So like I said, it's nicely painted. X-Transbot does a really good job with the paint and everything. All right, so we're going to go over articulation real quickly. You can look down a little bit. Looks good. I'll look all the way up. Kind of a hinge kind of thing going on. You do got all the way around. No attitude or anything like that. Like I said, these wings do get away, but they are on a hinge, so you can kind of move them and everything. You can go all the way around. You got to manipulate right there. You can go all the way up. Smell his armpit, which is nice. You do have a nice butterfly. I like that. Nice little butterfly joint right there. Looks really nice. All the way for the elbow bend. And I got some paint right there. I guess the kid sneezed whenever he was painting this one. Bicep swivel, which is nice. All right. With the hands. Hands are kind of fugly. Especially the thumb. It's kind of weird. It's on a little system like that. It just goes up and down, and you got a bend at the knuckle. Plus, you got that. You got the booger picker. It doesn't completely go all the way. They got like a little, like a curve to it a little bit. Couldn't think of what the word was, but it can stand by itself. The other 3 fingers are on one pin. You got a base and a middle knuckle, a middle bend at the knuckle and the base. So, it's all right. You got little slappers. Slap, slap, slap. Got to keep your pan strong as usual. So, you got that. You got a swivel, and you got a hinge in and out too as well for that. That's pretty cool. All right. Moving on to the waist. So, you do have a waist swivel, but it makes no sense. I don't know. You gotta, I guess you have to untab, the cockpit a little bit. And when you're doing the waist swivel, make sure, because man, I almost, got a caught on these. When you do the waist swivel, these little tail fins, I guess, whatever they're called, I don't know what they're called. When you do move, they're going to get hung up right here, which I don't know why they did that like that. Don't, force it, because you may break them. I think they're on a little thin, and these are die cast too as well. Just beware of that. But when you do move it, I guess you could, if you do the, ab crunch, it does have an ab crunch, which is cool. And then you can look up, which is nice. I like that. But if you just want to do the waist swivel, make sure you clear this, because if you get caught, these may break. I haven't broke mine, fortunately. Just be careful. That's a weird design. I don't know why they did that. Okay. So, you got that. All right, so you got little flappy flaps, and flaps out here. There you go. Tensioned out, Van Damme all day, every day. Ratcheted like that and everything. Nothing back a little bit, not much of the back. The little butt flap doesn't move and everything. These are tensioned. It'll hold it pretty good too as well. Nice ratcheted knee. You get the full knee. That's nice. Got the little blasters for the alt mode. That's good. These little, they do move forward, not backwards and everything. Toe tilt up. Nice ratchet toe tilt there. A little bit down. Rocker, not much of a rocker. I wish could get more. I wish they did, you know, sometimes they do the little flaps that will flap out. 3.0 does that sometimes and everything, but they should have done that. I don't think it would cause any issue during transformation like that. But yeah, should have given us more of a rocker. That would have been pretty cool. And there you go. There is Misfire and his articulation. Just a weird, like I said, just be careful with that little flap right there. But other than that, articulation is pretty good. And there's Misfire. Real quick, the only other accessory he has is the faceplate. So what you do is take that off, which is really easy to take off. Untab this, and then just put this one right there. And he's got the grr face. And just put it back on there. And there you go. That's how you change out the faceplate. All right, there he is next to MP44 Optimus Prime. And there is X-Transbots Bulkhead. And there is Magic Square Onslaught. And there is DX9 Sideswipe. And there's Takara Masterpiece Sideswipe and Tis McGee Retgar. And there's some scale for you. And Crapagonis, Crappy Toilet Paper, AAA Battery, Car Mix, Care Bears, Kicker, and Squeaks. More scale. All right. Golly. Back to transformation. Here is Misfire, Ballistic, whatever. I call it Misfire. Man, okay, so it's not a hard transformation. It's just a frustrating transformation, just like always with X-Transbots. Man, okay, so this piece fell off. I thought I broke something. I was like, oh my gosh. But basically it is just this. See this little panel right here? I don't have one right here. I'll have to put it in when I transform it back. But that's a little piece that fell off at the very end. I was like, oh my God, I broke something. But yeah, that just came off. I may have to super glue or something like that. But that fell off. So yeah, that was, I kind of got a little scared there. But it's not the first time I will break anything from X-Transbots. The thing is, man, it's just, metal going over plastic, like this right here, and then trying to tab in the arms when you get, because you have to tab them up right here. And then you have to kind of move this, stretch it out and try to, and everything trying to get this little tab into that right there. That was a pain in the taint. I forgot to mention this right here. These are like there's on a hinge right here. I didn't do this on the transformation, but basically there's a little slide and there's a little tab right there. And you just kind of move it up. Once again, plastic on plastic and everything. And my wheel will not tab in that well. Right here, there's supposed to a little tab in to the side and everything. It's kind of doesn't tab in the greatest and everything. These have come a little loose. Not this one. This one's pretty good, but this one's a little loose and everything. These little pieces right here, my boy Extra Zero told me about this. These right here don't tab in the greatest either, so it kind of looks like they're not sitting flush. I've tried to push it, but every time you move something on the other side comes untabbed. It's just one of those, man, I just don't know, man. And I could have swore that X-Transbots said these were going to be easier to transform. But man, you got, the arms just, moving all the way around, just flopping around when you're transforming everything. The nose cone, it's supposed to, once again, this fell out. This little screw cover fell off, so I have to put that back in a little bit. It looks beautiful. Love the paint. Once again, everything is painted. You can take your little Targetmaster. He won't fit in here. I don't think they rode in the cockpits anyways. I think the headmasters did. But you can put them right there. That's pretty cool. It does open. You've seen it through transformation and everything. You do got a seat right there, which is pretty cool. Nice little add-on. X-Transbots does that. Steering wheels with the runabout and runamuck and everything. So, like I said, it looks great. And it does roll. It's got the wheels, but like I said, my wheels don't really tab in that well, but it does roll, so that's good as well. You do got a lot of looks like an unfinished right here. You do got some gaps right here. You do got the little thrusters and everything. Like I said, it looks nice. It looks like Misfire, which is good. But man, that transformation, it's just a pain in the taint, just like always. Just stuff, you're having to move plastic, metal over plastic, hoping you don't going to break anything. And then stuff like this, just little things like that right there just bugs me. I can't get it to stay flush all the time. And when I do start moving something on one side, the other side starts, coming untabbed and everything. But once you get here, I just suggest if you, good thing it comes in bot mode. If you don't like to transform your stuff, just, leave it in bot mode. But like I said, it does look good. I do like the way it looks. It's just not a fun process as usual. But there you go. There he is in his old mode. All right, real quick, there's Studio Series Optimus Prime. Let's do that in there. I know he's not a masterpiece, but there's Alton-Ayre's Hot Rod. And come here. And here is Fans Toys Jazz. There's the scale for you. Well, hey there, everybody. If you made it this far, as always, I freaking appreciate that. All right, final thoughts on X-Transbots and their Targetmaster Misfire. And we got Aimless as well. We'll talk about him a little bit. He's good. He's cool, I guess. All die-cast. It was a beautiful paint job on him as always. One of my biggest gripe is he can't hold the weapon that well. I don't understand why they gave it like a railing system and didn't give him one as well. They should have put a tab because he's a Targetmaster. He wants to, in bot mode, he's going to hold his Targetmaster. That's his weapon. And for him not to be able to hold it that well, it just doesn't make any sense. I know you can flip in the hand and you can tab it in. That's a little better, but it'd be cool if he could hold it too as well. So that's, like I said, X-Transbots being X-Transbot. That doesn't make no sense, but, whatever. It's pretty cool. That's nice. Like I said, a lot of diecast. With this guy,
There's just some of the things, man. He looks good. I'd say that. I really do like the look of them. I think Slug Slinger's next. And I'm really excited to, we're going to get the MP, scale Target Masters. I'm really excited for that. So it looks good. Doesn't come with a lot of accessories, just another faceplate, which is cool. And you got him and everything. But yeah, the alt mode. We'll start with the alt mode. Some of the parts it doesn't look looks unfinished. The back end has got some gaps and everything. It's not a big deal, but like I said, I'm not going to put mine in alt mode. I don't think I'm going to leave him in bot mode. Let's see the transformation. It's not a hard transformation. It's just a pain in the tank because stuff is just flagging around. The arms are just flailing around, flopping around. During transformation and everything. You have to take some of the metal pieces, some of the die-cast pieces. You have to stretch around plastic, and that doesn't feel good at all. These little bits right here. That's another big gripe of mine. The waist swivel, these little things, make sure you lift these up because, man, if you don't, you're probably going to snap them off because they're on little thin die-cast pieces. Just be careful of that. You have to untab the cockpit and just to get the waist swivel. But like I said, make sure you don't knock these off, man, because that will be they're on screws. One of mine side was on loose, really loose on the alt mode. You can just tighten it up. Shouldn't have to tighten it up, but you can tighten it up a little bit and it makes it all right. But yeah, just be careful with that. Like I said, just the transformations, just like it's just a pain in the taint, trying to get everything lined up. Like I said, once I would tab something on one side and the other side would untab, and then vice versa. Everything. But like I say, it's not a hard transformation. Once you do it a couple of times, it's easy. But it's just trying to get those, die-cast pieces around plastic does not feel good at all. It feels like you're going to snap something and things like that. Just be careful with that. He does have a lot, some good die-cast on him. He's got some good weight to him, so that's really good. The paint-wise, beautiful. The paint looks really good. He got some kind of a goldish kind of tint to his thighs and, to his arms and everything. Really looks good. So really great job on paint. As always, they do a great job with that. Articulation, like I said, it's pretty good. Most of it just the weird, like I said, the, waist swivel. He does have a nice ab crunch, but you can look up and it doesn't defeat the purpose. So like that, you do got a butterfly. That's nice. The hands look weird. They're always just looking weird. I don't know. The whole curved, little tip of the finger looks just weird, and the thumb is weird. I don't know. The hands just are weird and everything. Materials, they feel good. Like I said, one of my, like I said, at the very end of that piece fell down. I was like, oh, goodness gracious. But it was just like a little, filler part. So I put that back in. But the materials are, okay. They're fine. It's just sometimes, there's decisions making sometimes just weird. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe this has to do with, he looks like that in a cartoon, whatever, but really didn't need these pieces at all. I mean, I probably could have gone without having them. But it's just, having to do the waist, everything, you could just snap them off and everything. And then having to take, die cast around plastic pieces and everything. Just, I don't know. It's not a good move, but, it is. But it looks great. Like I said, it's going to look great on the shelf next to your other MP stuff. And, when the other Target Masters come as well. Now I'm just rambling. I mean, it's just, X-Transbots could be so freaking great. I think they could even compete with, with Fans Toys and other, Fans Hobby and everything, MMC. Sometimes their decision making just the complex transformation that they do. I mean, with their car bots, with the feet and everything, trying to get everything just all floppy and everything, and you're trying to line up all that stuff. And like I said, just when you tab one thing in, the other side untabs. It's just like it gets frustrating. Like, but it's not hard. It just gets frustrating. And I like to get X-Transbot stuff. They're doing some things, other companies not doing. Run about, run amok. Punch, counter punch. They did some other, really cool characters that I don't see, any other companies do them in the future anytime soon. But, and we're getting a Target Masters. I don't see anybody, Make Toys, I think, was going to start doing the Target Masters or something like that. But, I doubt they're going to do anything again. I wish they put out the rest of their Headmasters. But yeah, I mean, they're giving us Target Master, so that's pretty cool. But it's just some of the decision making, it's just really frustrating sometimes. But anyways, like I said, I'm just rambling. Hope you like my review. Hope you was able to learn something. And like I said, I do got the Toy Deco one. Hopefully, I'll do that review later on the week or something, maybe. I don't know. But hit me up on like, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. Hit me up some comments. Tell me you thought of the review. Are you getting this guy? You excited for that? And follow me on TikTok, and on Instagram. Everything's in the description. Go to Show Z. That's where I got this guy. At the top, hit the Lux 32. Really helps out the channel. If you want to become a channel member, hit the join button down there. That also helps out the channel too as well. And actually watching my reviews. That really helps too. So I guess I'll see you in the next Transform review. And as always, be good to yourself. Help freaking Transformers. And help freaking X-Transbots. Man, I'm glad I didn't break this damn thing. Good night, folks.